All I know, having studied various aspects of the last nearly 2 years, thoughtfully. And of course there was the first year you couldn't actually put anything out into the public domain, which was suspicious of the mainstream message. All I know is it's virtually impossible to put anything out with authority and sum it all up in 10 minutes as an intelligent take on it all. And what next? It's impossible. Because there's too much. I've tried my best. But I've also, particularly for last year, had all sorts of, not because I'm any touchstone for anything, because I engaged, I got a bit bored winter last year. And was engaging with people I know, have known a long time, some of them not so long, who seem to be a bit more intelligent. And then I happened across a vein of thoughtful, reliable, balanced, middle-aged people who had things to say. That sounds like some online forum. No, I don't do that. Don't go into echo chambers. Anything that I've put up here, well, one has to be very careful as to whether or not it's going to get taken down. But with that in mind, not really in mind, I understand freedom of speech, the fundamental the fundamental indivisible need for all opinion to be out there, as long as it doesn't contravene clear-cut, many-decade understood illegal lines. All opinions should be out there, people should make their own mind up. But that's terribly difficult with this thing, because there's so much when there shouldn't be. That's really the point. I've done the scholarly, thoughtful work to some extent. Now, it all comes down to people. I know how to slightly latch on. No, latch on is the wrong word. In fact, that's the whole point. There's nobody to latch on to. I keep saying that's the whole point. I know how to assess whether or not someone's spreading material, let's just call it material, be it mainstream or non-mainstream. I know how to suss out what is that person some balanced, thoughtful person, and are they putting this out for a genuine good, and have they thought about it, or are they just putting it out? I do have some friends who are doing this, just putting things out almost as a sort of obtuse reactionary thing, because they haven't done the work over years. They're lost. So they're putting something out and they're sounding authoritative, but they don't really know what they're doing. I can discriminate between those different originators of opposing or non-mainstream thought. But here's the thing, boring though it might seem, and I don't really admit this to people, I've done the work, the semi-scholarly, not only assessing the definitely more scientific commentariat, but the rest, both sides. I've even first time in my life I looked at a I can't remember what the Bannon podcast is called. I've listened, worked through all sides of the argument, and there are some good ones who are being suppressed, without a doubt. They're good, but here's the thing. I believe I understand all aspects of what's going on, both scientifically and culturally, and it's impossible to put it into 10 minutes. It's just impossible. There is too much. And I've had so many quite intelligent, enjoyable conversations in many ways. Well, enjoyable up to a point with thoughtful acquaintances. And it's like, so often, as soon as you say a certain thing, because of the lack of a wider understanding of what is and how the culture, how the mass culture, that it does include even scientists, works. Just the most important thing about all of this is, in actual fact, all of this, the commentariat, the so-called experts, the politicians, a lot of them, they're city-based people. When you're in the rural areas, you have a different, actually generally healthier setting that is driving anything that's about you. Anyway, I've done the work, looking over all sorts of opinion, fact, research, whatever, and I know it's impossible to put it into some 10-15 minute proselytization sermon, but I've done the work. There's a lot of work. It wasn't intended. In fact, that's the point. Because I'm in a good mood, because we're having a vaguely ordinary holiday amongst the people I'm acquainted with, who are all very responsible, by the way. I'm like, okay, free. Let me just put something out. Why not? But I mean it. Unfortunately, all you got is your vote.